Nothing is up in the sky. You're going to walk on golden street. How in the heck you going to put a golden street in the sky? When gold comes from the earth, how you going to get it up? Reason. When the Caucasian landed, half original man Columbus discovered what they call Hispaniola. What was the name of that place before he named it? It had a name. They had native people there. So he didn't discover it for them. He discovered it for himself because he was new on our planet. He's not a native of the Caribbean. He's not a native of North America. He's not a native of Central America or South America or the Isles of the Pacific. He's not a native Australian, a native of New Zealand. Everywhere he went, he was not natural to that part. Therefore, he had to go there. If he's going to stay there, he had to conquer the people that were there. And he conquered them with this sign. The Bible says Adam was driven out of the garden, and a flaming sword was put at the east gate, so that when Adam was put out, he couldn't get back into the garden. They say the Garden of Eden is where the Tigris and Euphrates River is. That's Iraq, Jordan, Palestine, Egypt, all in that area. It's called the garden. Why the garden? Because it was the richest, most fertile spot on the earth. And who lived there? Talk to me. Who lived there? It was your father. When you go to Israel today, as I went some years ago as a visit to the Hebrew Israelites, headquartered in Dimona, one of their great scholars took me up to Jerusalem, into the caves, and then he took me down to the River Jordan, and he took me over to the Dead Sea, which is called the Live Sea with them. Then he took me down to Jericho, and I thought I was on 47th Street. I saw all these black people in Jericho. I said, Joshua, is this where you tore the walls down? And then I saw a black man, I mean real black, riding on a donkey. He spoke Arabic and Hebrew. So our guide spoke to them in Hebrew. He responded. I said, ask him a question. How long has he and his people been living here? He said, as far as he could remember, black people inhabited what you call Palestine or the Holy Land. Black people inhabited Egypt, Syria, Mesopotamia. All of that was the black area of the earth, and the richest area of the earth, and the area where civilization began. I'll go back up in a minute. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that after Adam was made in our image and after our likeness, and given power, dominion. He was given the authority to rule. Mr. Caucasian. He caused trouble among the righteous, telling lies. The nature of the serpent-like people is to lie and divide. And when you divide, you conquer. And as long as you can keep the people divided, fighting each other, then a small minority can rule a vast majority. Do you know that as dark people, you outnumber white people on this earth 11-1, but you are called a minority? How did you get to be a minority in America? That's because you're disconnected from all your people all over the earth. So as you're disconnected, you're a minority here. But you're the majority on the earth, but the majority cannot affect the minority because the majority has been divided by the real minority. And the real minority is the Caucasian. Now you say, well, why are you teaching this? Well, I mean, but wait a minute, Farrakhan. Why are you talking like this? Because this seems to be putting people against people on the basis of color. No, that's what white folk did. I'm not here for that. But in order to put people together on the basis of truth, you have to uncover the lie, tell the truth, and then whosoever will, let him come to the truth and bow down. So for making trouble among the righteous, the Caucasian were rounded up and kicked out of the Holy Land. In masonry, are there any masons in the house? Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Are there any omegas in the house? Any alphas in the house? Any kappas in the house? Any deltas in the house? Any AKAs in the house? Any sigmas in the house? All of you, in order to become a brotherhood, you have to do what? You got to cross the burning sand. You got to get over in order to become a brother. That's part of your initiation. As a Mason, you're cable-toed. And you wear a little something to hide your shame. And they take you across the burning sands. You're a third-degree Mason. A master Mason. But you can't get there unless you cross the burning sand. But what you don't know is that all of those rituals have a root. And the root is the journey of the Caucasian people when they were driven out of the Holy Land, sent up into Europe. Listen, 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 listen. Now, when the Caucasians were sent up into Europe, and you say, well, why are you teaching this? I have to say this because there are persons in the audience who may see themselves as white. But listen, I want to teach white people how they got to be white. No. This is what God has revealed. I want to teach white people how you got to be the way you are. That you have been the bloodshedder and the hell raiser on our planet more than any other member of the human family. Why is that? There's a reason for that. Some white people don't know why they are the way they are. Why have you killed people that didn't bother you? Why have you murdered people that opened their doors to you? Why have you murdered 100 million people for every 1,000 years of your existence on the planet? Therefore, you have killed more people than your own population. So if God were to take an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a life for a life, this is why doom is preached for the world of the white man, because you have murdered all the darker people of the earth and you have earned your destruction.